Sorry, I got a little emotional there. I don't know if it's going to go away or not, but this is a very real problem. It affects all of us. So I wanted to do that to give you an idea of the passion that our leadership team brings every day, and to let you know, if you don't already know, that none of you have to do this work and none of us are getting paid to do this work. We are here because our lives have been touched by one of those things. And we're trying, no pun intended, to make an impact. We're trying to address the problems that we see in downtown Spokane and beyond. We started it with Spokane County 3 years ago, and now we're represented in 10 different states. And from the looks of it, this thing is just going to keep growing. And I don't want things to get lost in translation. I want you to know why we're doing what we're doing. So if you attended the event last year, you know that on that day we launched our resource guide. I didn't get a chance to look at it live until after the event. And taking one look at it, I was like, oh boy, we got our work cut out for us. So we spent the last year investing every extra penny that we've raised into enhancing this website to make it more functional. We don't have a budget to make it pretty yet, but this is the resource guide. And I want to know, if this is the first time you've seen it, please raise your hand again. Okay. So when we first got together, 4 of us over calzones and Pete's Pizza in November of 22, we shared our experiences and we asked each other, what can we do? What can we realistically do? And we looked over the mountains at the west side, and we looked down at Portland, and we saw these thriving behavioral health communities that were collaborating, and we just didn't see anything like that in Spokane. And so that was our initial goal, was to bring people together once a month to talk about what's happening in their work, with their clients. So, okay, let's do a once a month meeting. We had 23 people show up to our first meeting, and we were overwhelmed by the amount of support and enthusiasm that they brought. So we said, let's do an in-person meeting once a month like we just did. And instead of meeting at a restaurant somewhere, let's go inside the building where services are being offered and bring people to introduce them to the staff and the clinicians and the leadership, and give them a tangible experience that they can carry with them as they're helping families navigate crisis. But let's also do a virtual meeting. Let's get to know the programs that are outside of Spokane County a little better, more than just where they are and what insurances they take. And so we brought people onto a virtual meeting, and we had 65 or something in our first virtual meeting. Like, okay, we're on to something here. We brought on some new leadership members, one of them being Brandy Terrell McGrath with United We Rescue. That allowed us to funnel donations in so we could do our first ever impact event in 2023. We had 79 vendors that year. So the bi-monthly meetings are kind of the engine, driving the bus. And our yearly impact meeting is, again, the place where we educate and celebrate our accomplishments. But we wanted to do something more. From my experience working in the field, and my personal experience, I should say my family's experience, trying to find help for me 12 years ago, I saw how incredibly inefficient this field is. We're relying on our memories to tell us what programs are a good fit for our clients so often. And some of you might have better memories than I do, but I'd like to think that I'm pretty competent, and I still couldn't keep track, even in an Excel spreadsheet. That thing got huge. So we decided to use the fundraising from the first impact to build a website. We got in over our heads, and we raised about $20,000 that year, and our costs were $19,500. We had no money for a website. So as we were preparing for year 2 impact last year, and we're raising money, just so you know, about 90% of the revenue raised up to this point goes to making this all happen. And the extra 10% is what we got to work with. And it was a bit of a gamble, but we're funneling money into the website as we're raising for the event. And we barely squeaked by, but we did it. We had a website. And now, last year after the event, we looked at the website and we have so many enhancements to do. So that's what we've been up to this year. So we're raising money for today and raising money to make this happen today. If you've been on the resource guide before, you probably saw some things that were a little bit confusing. I hope that this is a little bit clearer for you. Let's try not to think of the most complex cases here. I want to ask you guys to help me. Think of a pretty common patient that you help, and somebody shot out an age range. An age range. What was that? 25. I heard an adult. The Wi-Fi here is a little bit slow, so bear with me. Here's all the programs that are treating adults that are a part of our community. Okay? What's their primary concern or diagnosis?
Substance use disorder.
Hit the search button again. Give the Wi-Fi a second. Here's all the programs that are treating adults with substance use disorder. I just want to mention, this is kind of a neat little thing. We invested a little bit of extra energy so that when this list populates, it randomizes every time. So not even alphabetically is any one organization getting preferential treatment. Nice. Do they have insurance?
No.
Here's all the organizations treating an adult with substance use disorder that will accept a private pay. Do they need detox?
Sure.
Here's all the programs treating adults with substance use disorder who don't have insurance but need the highest level of care. Are we looking for virtual or in person?
In person.
Of course, it's medical detox, so you need to ask that question. Although, there are places that do fancy at-home detox, so. Virtual. Here's all the programs treating adults with substance use disorder who don't have insurance needing medical detox in person. Oops. Keep in mind, we're in the Pacific Northwest. What state are they in?
Washington.
Here's all the programs treating an adult with substance use disorder who doesn't have insurance and needs in-person medical detox in Washington. I could go on and on, but the only other thing I want to show you, in the sake of everybody's time, is let's just say they have insurance. What insurance do they have? Which MCO? Tell me about this. Here's all the programs treating adults with substance use disorder who have Molina insurance needing medical detox in person. And you can do that for any primary diagnosis or concern. And as we grow, it's only going to be more efficient. One recent enhancement is we will default to 30 miles if they're looking for PHP or lower level of care. In other words, they need to be able to reasonably commute to and from every day, unless it's virtual. You can specify. And then once you've run your search, you can zoom in or zoom out. And as you zoom in and fewer programs are on the list, you'll get fewer programs populating. I think I need to go back because it's sort of autoplaying. But thank you for joining me on that little journey. Crank my volume up. Jersey, are you ready? Oh, I gotta stop the Spotify. Low budget passion project vibes. All of it. So there are plenty of reasons, but there's not one good excuse why
Great marketing ideas.
we have open beds in Spokane when the need is so apparent and there are so many resources available. It boils down to access. People don't know how to access our services, and we are fixated on our individual program. And it's not, I'm not trying to like throw anybody under the bus. I get it, I'm an MBA, I have healthy respect for the bottom line. In a business development role, our livelihoods depend on our productivity. And when we get caught up in that hamster wheel, we lose sight of the patient. If we can link arms and be stewards of the overall behavioral health community, we can positively impact people's lives and we can positively impact the bottom line. That's what we're trying to do. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here today and for your support on our mission. It means the world to me.